Please read the disclaimer. Holy smokes, it ain't no jokes. The crypto market and XRP are pulling back strong. I'm not calling it a crash, but it's pulling back strong. We're going to talk about why the crypto market is dropping. It's not just the crypto market, but the crypto market has a symptom that is causing it to drop more. We'll talk about some actually good news for the crypto market as well. So you're going to want to watch all the way to the end of the video to get all the latest and the greatest. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Smash that like button. Listen, you guys have been lacking and the videos are not getting enough likes. And you know what the institution of BS says about the amount of likes on my videos and the correlation to XRP. You know, right? Wink, wink. Of course, there's no real straight correlation between the two, but maybe there is. So currently XRP is sitting at $1.78. XRP is down minus 6.44% on the day, but it's not just XRP. Okay, it's the whole crypto market that is dropping right now. Bitcoin is all the way down to 83,000. Bitcoin is at the lowest point it's been in a while. XRP also getting almost to the lowest point it's been, which was at 177. And that I'm excluding October 10th, right? So we're at very, very low levels right now. Some might say some juicy levels. Ethereum at 2,700, Solana also down 7%, Ethereum down 7%, Cardano down 8%, some down even 10% here on my list, some 12, right? Some assets. So this is a very, very interesting situation right now for the crypto market, but it was not just the crypto market that dropped down. You can see silver took a drop off here of about 11.5% in an hour and a half, has recovered. Also, the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 took a sell-off here, about 2% for the NASDAQ. That's a significant amount. And this all started as soon as the stock market opened up. But once the stock market opened up, everything started selling off. Everything started tanking. There was maybe like 2 minutes that it was up. Right? It was like a minute or two that the markets were up, and then it started coming down. Everything started coming down, and you can see even the VIX jumped all the way almost to 20. Remember, anything in the teens is considered okay, but it jumped from about 16 all the way up to almost 20, and now back to 17 and a half. So the market is gone wild today, but the crypto market has the symptom that there's liquidations. And for example, the stock market, there is leverage, but the leverage is time-based, not price-based, right? So meaning that call options, they expire, but it's weekly call options or monthly call options, right? That's where the leverage is. In the crypto market, the leverage comes with the price. So if the price suddenly drops, there's a cascading effect where it continues to sell off assets. And if you look over the last 12 hours, there's almost $1 billion in liquidations, high liquidations, most on Bitcoin and Ethereum, but also on others, right? And this is interesting because usually we've seen recently altcoins drop and Bitcoin goes down maybe, 2-3%. Well, now it's in line with the rest of the crypto market. So that means that there must be some unloading that's happening here. And you can see it's all across the board, like everything dropped at the same time. We'll get to the reason in just a second. Some might say that this is the reason that the Senate blocks the spending package, bringing government closer to shutdown. That is a fear. But then why did that happen exactly when the stock market opened up? That wasn't something that was going on at that time, right? It was this vote just happened. So maybe people were anticipating that vote was going to happen. Maybe there are some other factors. Microsoft meltdown. So the primary driver for the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 drop is Microsoft. Despite beating revenue expectations, the stock plummeted nearly 12%. Its worst day in 6 years. And this is one of the biggest, one of the cornerstones of the stock market. Investors are spooked by slowing growth in its Azure cloud business and the massive ballooning cost of its AI infrastructure. And so when you have a situation where markets are like, oh my God, maybe there's a bubble here, That creates fear all across the board. Everything started selling. The algo started selling, and the ETF started. The crypto ETFs, the XRP ETF, the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, Solana ETF. They all started selling off right with the algos, and then that affected the price of actual crypto. This dragged down other big tech names as market questions if the AI ROI, return on investment, is happening fast enough to justify the current valuations. And also the geopolitical shock, the Iran ultimatum. Investor sentiment shifted dramatically after President Trump issued a stern ultimatum to Iran regarding a new nuclear deal, warning a potential U.S. military strike. So this, had a situation, but we actually saw gold and silver tanking as well. And this all coming off of the Fed pausing the interest rates, right? And crypto, like I said, it fell, and then there was this cascading effect because of the leverage, and it was all across the board. It's not an XRP related. So, some might find this as a juicy opportunity. You need to figure out if this values, do you think that it's just today and there was a freak out and then the market's going to recover off of this, and the crypto market reacted a little bit stronger than the rest, than the S&P 500 and the precious metals because of leverage. As you can see that, crypto continued to drop, like there was a recovery and continued to drop, whereas the S&P 500 has recovered off of that low. Okay. And this is actually, the crypto market is actually coming off of the fact where the Senate Agriculture Committee passed its portion of the Clarity Act out of the committee on a 12-11 party line vote with no Democrats voting in favor. So maybe this is a good thing, but maybe it spooked people out a little bit that it's on the, a thread here that if just one Republican says no, then this thing is going to fall and there's not going to be a Clarity Act. That could be a fear. So maybe that's why the crypto market is selling off, even though the stock market had recovered a little bit. Again, this is only one committee. There's still the banking committee, which got postponed because Coinbase pulled out. We'll see if that follows. And then this is still the Senate. It needs to go through the House where they're going to have their own bill. So this could be a process of a few months. And if the government shutdown happens with, this coming out, right? The spending package got blocked, then there's high probability that this gets postponed. And so that puts fear in the crypto investors that this might be a prolonged thing. And then maybe money is, pulling out a little bit, going elsewhere. Could be. We also have right now, it's going on right now, the SEC CFTC chairman roundtable with Eleanor is actually the mediator there, I think, if I remember correctly. And so that's going to be interesting to see the headlines that come out of that. But we also got Paul Atkins, the SEC chair, saying now is the right time to open the 12.5 trillion 401k market to crypto. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
How do you think about crypto versus any other kind of investment for the average American family out there?
Well, Andrew, a lot of people are already exposed to crypto and other sorts of assets like that through their pension funds, and because they're managed by professional managers in those pension funds. So we're talking about the 401ks now, where we have to do things with respect to the different markets very carefully. We're focused right now on private securities, private equity funds, and things like that, where again, a lot of people are already exposed to those in their managed pension funds, and so we're looking to allow people to have access to those through the 401k, through the professional management of the what is allowed into their funds, their trustees that are looking after those funds. But right. I think the time is ripe to go forward with that.
So again, this could be a significant amount, 12.5 trillion. Of course, not all of that will come, right? But it will be a chunk, right? Even if it's 1 trillion, right? Even less than 10% of this, the current total crypto market is around 4 trillion less, right? 2.8 trillion. So if 1 trillion is added, right, then this factor could move us around 30%. So this is a significant amount of assets that could be coming into the crypto market. And it will be very interesting to see, over the next 5 to 10 years, how much money actually shifts into the crypto market. Let me know in the comment section, how much do you think is actually going to flow over? Do you think that it's going to people, maybe younger generation, are going to, moving more assets over to their 401ks, and people that are closer to retirement, where actually that's where most of the money is because of compound interest, they're going to be iffy about it because crypto, quote unquote, is volatile, and you know adding that to their portfolio could be risky for them as they're so close to retirement. But someone that is young and has a long time to potentially recover to volatility might be more inclined to add that to their portfolio of their 401k. So very interesting. Let me know in the comment section. I'm thinking that most of you would probably do it because if you're watching a crypto or XRP video, you're probably invested in the crypto market, right? But I just want to remind you that, as always, this video is for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. I do not know day to day what the market is going to do. It could tank 6%. It could go up 10% the next day. Volatility can be very, very tricky in times like this. The market can heat up very fast and it can tank very fast. And we need to take everything into consideration and take these possibilities and put in plans in place for these types of scenarios. You can have defense, you can have short positions if you're interested. We have our partnership with BTCC, and they're giving us a 30% deposit bonus right now. So if you deposit 1,000, you get 300 bonus. If you deposit 10,000, 3,000, and so on, or 100,000, 30,000. So if you're interested, link is in the description down below. But as always, please, please, please trade responsibly, okay? And make sure you understand the risks and rewards of leverage. If you do use my link, I will get a commission. So thank you for that. Again, link is in the description down below. We've been partnered with BTCC for a while. Very, very good people there. I've learned to know them. That this is the one that this and BYDFI are the ones that I use for my trading. So if you're interested, you can get there or by my website and scroll down here, or I'll put the link in the description. So we'll see how the crypto market reacts. Maybe we have a new low here, excluding October 10th. Maybe Bitcoin drops to its lowest point in the past year or so, right? If it passes 80,000. So that was the level on November 20th. Remember, on October 10th, Bitcoin really didn't drop that much, right? But it sold off here in November 22nd, 21st, and then it hit 80,000 around that area. So we could see that once again. There's no gap or anything like that. So it's interesting, but we continue to see this, the up and down of Bitcoin. This is what we anticipated that would happen after the closing of that monthly gap that we saw. And so it will be very interesting to see what happens here. Many people are talking about already shifting over. Oh no, the second quarter is going to be the month when crypto starts moving. I don't know. Again, I have plans for short term, I have plans for medium term, and I have plans for long term. Again, the price, if it's 178 or 83,000 or whatever, if I'm looking at my long-term investments and I'm looking and I zoom out and I look at the weekly chart and not the daily chart even, and I look at Bitcoin and the weekly chart, if you started investing, especially in 2022 or in 2020 or in 2018, so, you're still up a significant amount. If you started investing yesterday or the day before, yes, your positions are down. And that's why, again, sometimes I'll use leverage for the potential of the positions, right? So, my position that I show you on BYDFI, for example, is now in the red, right? Maybe I'll deploy a little bit more money and buy the dip here. Actually, on XRP, it's looking a little bit juicy right now. So, you know what? I think I might do that. I'll see. And so it's because, this is already a nice position here. I don't want to get too big. And on other places, I do a little bit more riskier things. These are my These are my safer positions. And so we'll see how the potential of this market plays out here. It's going to be very, very interesting. Let me know in the comment section again what you think. You can drop 8 for infinity and beyond, or drop a super thanks. That's nice as well to support the channel. And the easiest thing you can do is just smash that like button. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.